Quest Audiobooks presents an unabridged recording of Prudence by Beverley Watts, narrated by Hannah Hedley, Mark Elstob, Alan Medcroft, and Eilidh Beaton. Chapter 1. The day of Percy's and Lizzie's wedding dawned bright and clear, the first rays of sunlight casting a rosy hue across the morning sky, promising that the summer solstice of 1821 would be either pleasantly warm or more likely unbearably sweltering. As Prudence slipped through the kitchen door, she gave only the briefest of glances to the blaze of orange and gold decorating the horizon, as she attempted to juggle a pilfered but unexpectedly hot scone in one hand and tie the laces to her dress with the other. It was only 6 a.m., but already the vicarage cook, Mrs. Tomlinson, had produced a mouth-watering profusion of pastries, cooked meats, and a multitude of other luxuries for the wedding. It was also very likely that many of the tempting treats on display would contain traces of her tears, and possibly even a smidgen of snot, since Mrs. Tomlinson had been crying almost non-stop for the last 3 days. Indeed, so impressive were the cook's waterworks, one could be forgiven for thinking that Blackmore's curate was moving to another country rather than 200 yards down the road. Prudence's reason for being out of her bed at such an ungodly hour was predictably to avoid all the tumult that such a momentous occasion was even now provoking. Of course, when she sweetly requested that she be the one to pick the flowers for Lizzie's bouquet, there were more than a few raised eyebrows, not to mention sniggers from the rest of the family, given that her knowledge of wildflowers had hitherto been confined to be able to spot the difference between a dandelion and a daisy. To be fair on Prudence, she'd spent at least 20 minutes the night before looking at pictures of wildflowers she'd found inside her father's copy of Gilbert White's Natural History of Selborne. She wasn't quite sure where Selborne was, but reasoned it couldn't be that different to Blackmore, as the first 3 illustrations she'd studied were wild cowslips, cornflowers, and poppies. She decided that the bride's bouquet would contain wild cowslips, cornflowers, and poppies. All she had to do was find them. And, as she popped the last piece of scone in her mouth, she determined to make her errand last at least 3 hours, returning just in time to tie a ribbon around the bouquet and hand it to the bride.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?